Welcome to Sikorski's Think Abouts, and I'm your host, Laura Sikorski. My guests and I share our operations and technology expertise to help you provide outstanding customer service and customer experiences. Today, our guest is me again. And this time I thought, you know what, I'm going to talk about customer experience and technology. And I just found out before the show that we have a new staff member here on the Daily Blue. And believe it or not, she used to work, and her name is Chloe, and she used to work in a call center. So you can just bet I'm going to have her on as a guest, because we love to hear from the agent perspective what it really is like to work in a call center. And of course, Sam is here, and she's going to do our videography today. So the biggest issue is, what do your customers want? They want to do business with you on their terms, when they want, on the method or channel, and that's new words that you're going to hear today, channel of their choice, and they expect the same service regardless of the channel that they choose. And a channel truly is nothing more than the method that they choose to reach you. But with customer experience today, every industry is really realizing that customers are more and more dissatisfied. They're dissatisfied due to the press one, press two technology, the one-size-fits-all mentality, and the lack of the easy access to a human. I mean, how many of us dial that press one, press two, and when we reach it, we take a deep breath and just press 0, pound, star, and we just try to get somebody that can really answer our questions. And so we really and truly need to be more cognizant of what your customers want. Believe it or not, and I'm going to point to this slide because this slide always makes me crazy. Customers expect you to respond 31% immediately. Immediately. So then the next one is they'll give you 5 minutes. The next 11% in 30 minutes. So what are you thinking when you are sending something in social media, Mr. Customer or Mrs. Customer? You're expecting somebody to instantaneously get back to you. Is that realistic? I don't know. So think about it. And of course, social media. Social media, one Twitter, one Facebook can reach 150,000 people independently. And then the next thing you know, they're tweeting and Instagramming and doing all those other Pinterest and everything else that's out there. And they are truly impacting your name, your brand in the industry. So one of the things I really would like you to think about today is your response times for certain things. Years ago, I used to see on fax that companies would put on their websites, "We'll get back to you in 48 hours." Well, my problem may have, become so super duper that I can't even get to you, you're not even going to get to me with an answer in 48 hours. But think about it. Voicemail. How do you get back to all of your customers within 24 hours or the day that they call? Email. What's your email policy? Fax, social media. So again, start looking at your operation from a customer experience perspective and take a look at what your response times are, even for just these 4 small entities. So your customers expect personalized service. They expect raise standards of service. They don't want to be one of the bunch. They want to know that you know who they are, what the last time they spoke to you, the last time they ordered something, and perhaps the last time you said thank you. And that would be a very interesting way to say something to your customers. Product innovation. When was the last time you really took a look at your procedures, took a look at your products and said, maybe it's time I need to update what I am giving to my customers. And that could be a change in logo, a change in brand, but it's not a bad thing to keep yourself motivated and changing and innovating your product and services. And certainly customers expect operational excellence. They expect that when you call a call center or contact center, the fancy word for call center today, they expect that agent to know everything about them, everything about your product, but if they don't, the agent, have the full confidence that they can go to a supervisor or to a team leader or their buddy in their call center and say, can you help me? I'm not sure what the answer to this customer is. So operational excellence is really something that your customers expect. Now, customer channels. I mentioned a little bit about this in the beginning. And, some of it call, this channel omni-channel, and we'll talk later about that. But it's all the different touch points. And touch points can be a marketing term, or touch points can be a channel. But these are the methods that the customer wants to use to contact you. And today, the telephone is still the primary one. No matter how you look at it, people want to talk, they want to hear your voice, they want to get a warm and fuzzy feeling that when they speak to that call center, they know that perhaps if they want to do that touch tone stuff and get themselves their own bank balances, that's cool too. But they want to know that there's an option to always speak to a representative of your company. Email. How many of your customers are now emailing? And I think it's a great thing. Info@ is a big website and informational way to get to your customers. So what is your channel? What does it look like? Are you getting back to people? The internet. The internet is your website. Is your website truly giving your customers what they went there for? Or have you made it so hard to find anything? I mean, every one of you out there can go and look for information, FAQs and things like that. But have you made it difficult for them to find? I know sometimes I'll go on a website, I do a lot of hospital consulting, and I just try to find out information about those particular hospitals. And I am on the website, for at least 5 minutes trying to figure out where it is that I would find a doctor's name, a specialty. And that the same thing happens to basically every brand and company out there today. You've put so much in there that it is difficult for them to find out what they want. And remember, a website is only a pathway to get to you. It should not be the Bible. It should not be your policies and procedures. It should be a way that a customer can get information quickly and then perhaps follow up with a phone call or an email. The IVR, we all know we hate it, the press 1, press 2, but it's not a bad thing if it's done correctly. If you give your customers the option, human or self-service. And many times, your customer's phone call is going to take a minute or two. How much are you saving by all that frustrating of press 1, press 2? And believe it or not, text is now 40% of the communication method. People like to text. I never liked to text. Suddenly, all of a sudden, I am texting everybody because it gives me a real time. But I know if I'm texting someone, there's not usually a paper trail to get the information into my account. And that's something that I think that the technologists have to work for. Certainly, social media we spoke about. But chat, everybody loves chat now. Chat, you get a record of the conversation and it gives you really good information. Mobile, of course, mobile is going to be the way of the future. It has already been the way of the future. But I think I read something about this year's holiday season that they think it's going to be 40% via mobile communications. And that's crazy. Years ago, when the internet first came on board, it was maybe 1%, 2% going to e-commerce. Totally changed the way we do business today. And of course, speech self-service, it's coming, it's getting better, but the accents are still very hard. So we are going to take a small break and come back, and we're going to, not too technical, don't worry, but we're really going to talk about technology. So see you in a few.
Hi, I'm Tim Stead. I'm from Star Communications. We're a marketing support company. And if you need help with your next marketing project, please call 273-1900, or you can go to our website, starcommunications.us.
Welcome back to Sikorski's Think Abouts, and I'm your host, Laura Sikorski. Today we're talking about customer expectations and technology. So before the break, we did heavy expectations, what your customers want. Now we're going to turn the button down, and we're going to talk about technology, and I promise it's not going to get too crazy. But here are some things that I think your customers might really want to know about technology. Technology can give them information, product information, emails, automatic emails, reminders, and so forth. It gives education to your consumers. It gives a warning of problems, product failures that you may want to get out right away to avoid any kind of issues that are starting to impact your volume at your contact center. So they could do things like imminent delivery. You ordered this yesterday, it's going to come today between 10 and 2 and things like that. And of course, help services. How much money do you lose because of customer problems? So technology has a way of solving all those issues. But there are two drivers, I think, today in the industry. There is front and back office integration, and certainly the cloud. So the front office is where your agent is interacting using a CRM type of model. And the back office, as an example, is getting the invoices out, getting the shipping done. And today, those two need to be bonded together. So your intra-departmental communication cooperation. So the people that have to be front and back office integrated is your technology, and that's voice and data, is your services, quality, marketing, and sales. A lot of people are talking about mapping today, and mapping is twofold. It's process mapping, meaning do you know exactly how every single item or thing is done in your office? Because sometimes that person can decide to leave your company, and that person is the only one that knows how they do their job, and you need to be sure that whatever you're doing in your office, you have a process. It's documented on a piece of paper. The other thing is the customer journey map. What that means is, how do the customers find you? What are they looking for? Why are they looking for it? So you need to make sure that you know exactly what your customer wants and how you're going to give it to them. And that again is called customer journey mapping. And it's becoming a really hot button, and you may even want to think about a focus group, asking your customers about certain products, certain items, certain ways that they communicate with you. And go back to that IVR, that press 1, press 2. Make sure you have a good customer journey map on that. Is that if they press number 2, are they going to get a voicemail? Not cool. So be careful with how you've processed your journey mapping. And certainly when you interface a front office and back office system, this is not something you can do in a month. This is something that you have to develop a long and detailed project plan, and then of course a timeline. And nothing is too small to be put on the timeline, because what happens is many times those small objects forget to get done. So what are you going to have as a result? You're going to have it'll prevent some of those customer problems that you have. It'll increase your loyalty. Remember the loyalty we had with Shep Hyken a couple weeks ago. Customer loyalty is very different than customer satisfaction. So you want to make sure that your customers stay with you. Plus, when you have this integration, marketing is going to get a lot of information. They're going to get operational data. They're going to get survey information. And of course, that integrated customer relationship management system that you have is going to be useful. It's not going to be just something that, oh yeah, that's where our agents dump all their information about our customers. And so your CRM obviously is tied to all your operational databases and allows you to anticipate customer problems, because if warehousing is having a problem getting a deliveries out because the cartons came in broken, you'll get a heads up, and then you can notify your customers. You can send a blanket email out, you can send blanket text messages out. How to avoid that info, all that additional call volume that you did not expect, ways to avoid that. And then, of course, marketing and sales will be very happy because they're working directly with the customers. So now let's talk about the cloud. The cloud is that infamous puff in the sky that vendors are saying they are going to hold your data in the cloud, but it's going to be able to help your customers. And when we change our software or upgrade our software, we can do it instantaneously, and not like you have in many cases today. By the time you get the new release or the new version, the product isn't really doing, or your software isn't really doing what it used to do. It gives you improved reliability, because if it's not really subject to weather conditions and so forth, it's in the cloud. You've built redundancy around getting information back and forth to your call center. And it increases your flexibility, because if they have a new product, you can install a new product on your software within 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I installed a cloud call center, small cloud call center, and by the time the time that took the time was signing the contract and all the lawyers getting involved. From the date they signed the contract, we were up and running with 13 seats in 4 weeks. Not bad in the traditional call center world. So of course you're going to have improved CX, your improved communications. You can get rid of your outdated systems, get your upgrades done quickly, and again, that better multi-channel. So of course I said I was going to talk about omni-channel. And our industry just always comes up with new acronyms, new buzzwords. Before this was called multi-channel, now it's called omni-channel. And basically, it's the method and how you look at the eyes of the customer. Are you orchestrating through all of the channels, all of those touch points that we talked about earlier? Are you, in fact, integrating it so it's seamless, consistent? The purpose of omni-channel is remembering that no matter what channel your customer reaches, you are giving them the same information. It's the same information on fax, same information on text, and so forth. And of course, handoffs from channel to channel need to be very fluid, meaning if I call your help desk after I've been on the website and I'm getting frustrated on your website, it would be best that when that call goes to the help desk, there's a button on, let's say, on your website to contact for issues, that when the technician in the help desk gets that call, it has exactly where you are in the website. So these are all things that multi-channel is going to help you with. And certainly the big buzzword, and I put it all in caps because everybody's talking about data mining. Data mining is nothing more than making sure that wherever you have information, it is available to your call center. It is available to management for these very great reasons. I mean, just for marketing, you can have research, brand perception, benchmark data, information on your competition. So please, really look at data mining and look at omni-channeling. So, of course, we're almost at the end of our show, and I have a few tidbits or think-abouts for you to take away. Always deliver consistent and exceptional service to your customers. It's not that hard, folks, and if you could just keep them to think like a customer whenever you are working on changing or updating or announcing new information. And listen to what your customers are saying. What do they want via the surveys? And as Shep talked a few weeks ago, ask maybe 3 questions. Don't make it long and involved and a pain in the butt for them to complete. And of course, remember that your customers are savvy and they will measure you against others. So if Amazon.com is doing something great or Zappos is doing something great, everybody thinks that your customer center, your contact center is going to be the same. So with that, I just want to thank you all for clicking in and have a perfect rest of the day. Excuse me, I forgot one very important thing. Sorry about that. How to reach us. You can reach me via Twitter at Laura Sikorski. And certainly we do want to thank Karen Murphy-Caro, who's founder and CEO of Blue Chip Marketing and the Daily Blue. And of course our videographers today, Sam and Chloe, for doing such a great job. And perhaps you'd like to have a commercial on my show, or perhaps you'd like to be a guest. So feel free to reach myself at the number listed, or Corinne Caro at 631-761-9223. So again, backtracking a little bit, thanks for clicking in, and have a perfect rest of the day.